Hey there, what's up YouTube? It's your boy JRSD here, and I'm here with a draft analysis for QDL. This is going to be a new draft league that I'm bringing to the channel. Yeah, so I think it's its third season. It's run by my friend Seth. And I was in it. Well, I was in a league with this kind of group of people a while back, and then they kind of switched to the quarantine draft league once quarantine started, and I wasn't in season 1, so season 2 was just ended, and I actually took over a team mid-season. Brought the Seattle Patriots to QDL, and we actually secured the championship just a couple days ago. So, yeah. So, coming into season 3, there are 2 different leagues. We're in the INDIGO PLATEAU division, I believe. Yeah, and it's a points-based draft with Gen 8 DLC 2 rules. So like Grassy, Rivalry, all the stuff that's out right now, basically. And no cut moves, and basically, yeah. So we had 115 points, I believe, to make these drafts. And we'll just be going over mine. People have done, there's a bunch of guys who did a power rankings video for the QDL INDIGO PLATEAU, and then for the other division as well, the Mountain Lion Aquila division. So I will make sure to link those in the description. And I'll also link the other coaches that are going to be uploading, because there's going to be 5 or 6 of us, I believe, that are going to be uploading this season. And yeah, we'll just get right into it. So, if I remember correctly, I was pretty later on in the draft. Let me just go see if I can find what actual position. This draft actually took place about 3 weeks ago. I was. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I was 8 out of 12 coaches. So 8th out of 12, pretty bad spot, to be honest, but that's okay. So our first pick was Rivalry. This was worth 15 points. And also shout out to Aaron. Big shout out to Aaron. He came into QDL and he wanted to make everybody thumbnails, custom thumbnails, and draft analysis slides. So all these, this one, thumbnail, and then all these slides from here on out are made by my guy, Aaron, who absolutely knocked it out of the park. Of the kind of quarantine vibe. I forgot to mention that at the start. But yeah, I'll link Aaron in the description as well. He makes logos and stuff like that as well. But yeah, so Rivalry obviously got a lot better. It was already pretty good. Got a lot better with Grassy Surge. And then they also gave it access to Grassy Glide, its signature move, which is, well, not signature move, I guess, but it gets priority 70 base power in grassy terrain, which boosts up to 91, I believe, in grassy terrain. Decent speed at 85, pretty decent bulk, great attack stat, and Sword Dance, bulk up, its U-turn. It's just a great kind of pivot, can be a great setup mon, and of course sets up that grassy terrain. And yeah, so next pick, this was kind of wild that this thing lasted this long, but Tornadus variant form was here. I guess, if it loops around, yeah, 16. So 16 picks in, Tornadus was still on the board for 18 points, and I couldn't let it go. Tornadus. It was not the original plan, but I was like, screw it, I'm getting Tornadus. I can't not. Obviously, that great speed tier at 121, solid attack and special attack, great HP, great defenses. Regenerator, obviously, with the addition of boots, becomes one of the better defoggers. Pivot as well, gives me the first defogger on the team. Gets nasty plot this generation, so it just gets even better, basically, and it was already very good. So yeah, not much else to say about Tornadus. It does what it does, and it's very good at it. And I couldn't let it go to the next, like it wouldn't have come in round 3, so yeah, so in pick 3, I wanted to get a Mega, and I wanted to get a Mega, or at least I wanted to get a Steel type, because Steel types are weak to Earthquake, obviously, one of the best moves in the game, and Grassy Terrain basically forces everybody to run other ground type moves, whether it's to run special with Earth Power, or to run things like High Horsepower, Bulldoze. Yeah, that's basically it. High Horsepower mostly on the attacking ground types. So, and I grabbed Mega Aggron. So bulky with Filter. Base 230 defense, base 140 attack, so it hits hard in return. And then 80 special defense is very good as well. Filter, of course, reducing me by 3/4, or by super effective attacks to 3/4. So it's basically like half super. Yeah, so it's a good thing to have. This is a rock setter, obviously, and really takes advantage of that Earthquake weakness. With Filter and Grassy Terrain combined, Earthquake's not going to do anything. Not that it was going to do much to me anyway because of Filter and that 230 defense. But yeah, Aggron's super cool. I've used it before. I like it a lot. Yeah. Next up, Wish support for the team and a bulky water in Vaporeon. Vaporeon's a good special defensive Pokemon to pair with the physical bulk of Mega Aggron. Gives me Wish support for Mega who doesn't have recovery but now has it in this Wish support and in Grassy Terrain. So I thought that was really clutch. Also, you'll see on the side it says Tornadus I, but it's Tornadus D. Don't let that fool you. There's a little bit of mix-up in processing, and I didn't want him to have to make every slide again. So it says Tornadus I, but it's not. It's Tornadus D. Yeah, so Vaporeon obviously gets Flip Turn now. It's a Water Absorb Mon for those Shrikevish people. Yeah, it's fat in every way. It's Heal Bell. It's Cleric. It can be strong offensively as well. And Scald is really nice. Yeah. So next member of this team, I wanted another Pokemon to help with, or to get helped by Grassy Terrain. Nidoking was there. So Nidoking is very good Life Orb user, obviously with Sheer Force. It's a bit Arthur. It is a grounded poison type that gets Toxic Spike. Or it's Toxic Spikes, it is another Stealth Rocker. It can hit either physical or special. Yeah, so ground types, stops electric types, and is less weak to ground type moves in return because of the Grassy Terrain. Yeah, so just great stats all around. Obviously, those Gen 1 Pokemon have great stats. But yeah, it can be run physical special. Great Scarfer. Very versatile Pokemon, and I just wanted to use it pretty much. Next up, grabbed a Fairy type. And grabbed kind of a support mon to kind of glue everything together. So Klefki, Steel Fairy, of course, gives me a second Steel, but it doesn't really matter. It's Prankster, it gets Spikes, it gets Screens, it gets Defog as well. And of course, completes the, well, doesn't adds to the Fairy Dragon Steel Core that I was hoping to build. Fairies are important in general. And another Pokemon that can take Earthquakes better because of the Grassy Terrain. Yeah, so I liked getting spikes. That was pretty important. I always like having spikes. And just another defog, so I don't have to have it on tornadoes at all times. Next up was Sharpedo. So it's a dark type, which is obviously it gets speed boost, obviously. It's a new speed tier of 95. Another good physical attacker. And it gets access to a couple new moves this generation. At flip turn. And yeah, so Sharpedo, super cool. I've wanted to use it since Gen 8 came out because of its new moves and stuff. So I was happy with the pick. Oh, I forgot to say the points. So Mega Aggron was 14 points. Vaporeon was 11 points. Nidoking was 12 points. Klefki and Sharpedo were both 11 points as well. So at this point, we were pretty much used up a lot of our points, kind of top heavy at this point. So the last four picks, kind of budget mode for sure. And the first one being our dragon, our budget dragon, Regenerator. Turtonator completes the Fire, Water, Grass core, completes the Fairy Dragon Steel core, and also appreciates the Earthquake. Obviously gets access to Shell Smash, is pretty powerful on its own. Great defensive Pokemon as well. It gets Rapid Spin, and with heavy duty boots, that's pretty good. Slow as heck, obviously, but it doesn't really matter. Can be physical or special, again, and can be physically defensive or specially defensive. So this was 5 points. The next pick was 6 points, and in this league, speed passing is not allowed, but passing of other stats without speed is allowed, and passing of substitutes is allowed. To grab the main man, the sheep, the boy, 6 points, Double. So Double is honestly, without stat passing, it's very useless. Its stats look great on paper, to be honest. 100 defense, 90 special defense, 88 speed. It's like a budget built tank, but it's not good. It's very not good. Cotton Guard, which boosts your defense by 3. It gets Sword Dance. In other leagues that you can pass speed, it also gets agility. So you can pass attack, defense, and speed, technically. So yeah, I thought for 6 points it was a very good deal. And I've seen it used in the season, first season of this league, very well. So it also gets Thunder Wave, so another kind of support mon. 3 pretty good abilities, Fluffy probably being the best. And yeah, so I can pass a Sword Stance or pass what's called Cotton Guard to Tornadoes or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of cool. So 4 points with my next pick was Drifblim. So Drifblim, it's kind of funny. I drafted Rillaboom without kind of the intention of using any Unburden mons in that way. Like, I hadn't intended on grabbing Hawlucha or Hitmonlee, or which usually you do if you grab a Terrain mon. You want to grab an Unburden mon just to have that option. And in my first Woods season, uploading here on the channel, I drafted Thwackey and Drifblim, and I ended up dropping Drifblim midway through the season, and I never actually got to use it as an Unburden mon. But I have used it now that it's been out for a while with Grassy terrain and stuff like that. I've used it in the lower tiers on the ladder, and it's been kind of cool. So obviously it can function outside of the Unburden. It gets Aftermath, it's Flare Boost, which is kind of cool do the Flame Orb set, but it gets Calm Mind, it gets Strike Sap, it's another defogger. So as you can see, we have Toxic Spikes, we have Spikes, and we have Rocks on 2 Pokemon. and then we have 1 rapid spin and a couple of defloaters. So hazard's not super important to me in this format anymore, really. Boots kind of made it less important, I think, than overall typing. A lot of times in Gen 7 and stuff, we would focus on having hazard control, and though it is nice to have if people are unprepared, I don't think it's nearly as important as it was 2 years ago. So, yeah, Drift Limb for 4 points. We had 3 points remaining, and I noticed that outside of Nidoking, I didn't have an electric immunity, and Nidoking's kind of frail, so that probably wasn't the best idea. And I didn't have an electric type either, so I thought I could hit both of those points in one pick, and I grabbed Emolga. So Emolga gave us a speed tier above 100, but under Tornadus. And obviously it gets Motor Drive, so it is immune to electric attacks. And it gets Defog, it gets Volt Switch, it gets U-Turn, it gets Nuzzle. Kind of just an annoying mod. Maybe it'll surprise someone when I pass a Swords Dance to Emolga one game. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, so that's the draft. I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back when we are looking at the dock. Just 1 second. Alrighty, so here we are at the QDL dock. Obviously, Moderator, Goblin, Ballhawk, and Seth. You can see nothing has happened yet. The season just officially started. But if we go to my page, you can see this dock is awesome. So shout out to, I think it was Ballhawk put it together. Yeah, shout out to them. And yeah, you can see my team. There we can see our matchup for next week. We play Bailey, week 1. He's got a pretty scary team for himself. Oh, so yeah. So, just a few things. So this league, I will be uploading in 1 or 2 or 3 week chunks. So IBL should be coming out every week, and then this one will be every 2 weeks approximately. Just to give kind of, I don't know. I felt like I was pumping out a lot of the same kind of content, which I mean I am, but I feel like 2 to 3 weeks is a good thing. Maybe a 20-minute video, post-com, just going over the battles, looking at the dock, and that'll be it. If we get playoffs, maybe well, playoffs, if we do get there, I'll do weekly for sure. Yeah, so, second kind of news update or whatever, Woods Season 6 is kind of disaster. I'm 1-3. I know I uploaded weeks 1 and 2, but spoilers, I'm 1-3, and I'm not gonna upload Woods. I think I might do kind of a recap once the season's done, but it doesn't look like we're gonna make playoffs. I had high hopes for that team, and it's just hasn't really worked. So sorry to disappoint the Woods guys. I love the draft league. I love the guys in there, but it's just it's not worth uploading losses. In my opinion, at least. If you disagree with me, please let me know and give me some kind of motivation to do it. But yeah, it's been rough to play. At least those last 2 games were kind of rough. So if I get the energy back and if I somehow make a comeback or whatever, I'll postpone those games. But yeah, Woods is done on the channel for sure, for the time being. Maybe next season I'll bring it back. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe if you're new. If you came from one of the many places I plug, hit subscribe for sure. I upload weekly. And yeah, I will see you guys Week 2 of IDL should be coming out in the next few days, and then Week 1 of this league should be uploaded within the week. So yeah, again, shout out Aaron for the graphics, and I'll link him and the other coaches in the description. So make sure to go check them out, and I will see y'all in the next one. See ya.